Hi, I'm Marc Bona, and I write about beer for Northeast Ohio Media Group. We are on day 10. We're in the home stretch, finishing up our final video tour of all the finalist breweries on our top 10 Neos Craft Brewery Tour. We're at Lagerheads here in Medina. There's actually two locations, the restaurant's in Abbeville, but we're at the brewery and tasting room right around the corner from the square on Smith Road. We're with Tom Robbins, who's the head brewer here. Tom, give us a little bit of the background about the restaurant and the brewery, because unlike most breweries here, the chicken and the egg, the restaurant came first.
It did. Restaurant's been around about 12 years. I believe 12 years this August. They operated for about 7 years, and then they decided to rehab their game room, get rid of the cornhole table and whatnot, and put in a brewery. So they had done quite a bit of work on getting equipment down in there. Found some equipment. Took about over a year or so. Got that up and running, and here we are. So we just recently moved within 6 months ago over to here.
So when you talk about food and beer, one of the best marriages is barbecue and beer. As a matter of fact, Michael Simon has a new show coming out about just that topic, barbecue and beer. And could you talk a little bit about what pairings work really well in terms of styles of beer with barbecue?
Hoppy beers would go well with spicy foods and as well as a red meat, smoked food, period. So, with barbecue, you can either have your mild or your spicy. If you take your spicy route, I would prefer the high five.
High five is that's your IPA.
It's our IPA, yes. Other than that, a lot of our beers are on the maltier end, which will complement so well with most dishes. As our lighter beers, like our Pilsner and our Wit, we've got a couple seafood dishes that would go great with those as well.
So a question I ask brewers often is about whether this market is saturated. And clearly there's an argument on both sides. The supply and demand in Northeast Ohio is absolutely amazing. What kind of traffic are you getting in the tasting room? And you told me something earlier that was very interesting about beer sales in the restaurant now that the brewery has moved. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're still, bringing in more people in here to the tap room. It's growing. It's a little bit more every week, but as we've moved the brewery, something unusual is beer sales have kicked up there. And it could just be, the combination of the beer and barbecue.
So in terms of future beers, you make a pretty good assortment of styles. Actually, they're right over there. You have some barrel aging in the works, and that's a hot topic now for beer drinkers.
We do. On tap right now, which we're getting to the end of, we have our Abbeville Triple that's bourbon barrel aged. We have just kegged up our bourbon barreled Winter Mischief for Christmas in July, which we start July 1st and take that through the whole month or until that beer is gone. As I emptied the Winter Mischief barrels, I topped that off with barley wine. We've done some Imperial Stout, and I also have a few sours that are going on back at the restaurant. So I kind of keep those over there, don't keep them here.
That's a pretty adventurous thing to do.
So the basement's got a great environment for it. It's an old building. That building was built in 1840, so it's got low ceilings, the shale rock that kind of lines the basement walls. So it's got a great feel and nostalgia to the basement for barrel aging.
Great. Well, now I'll put you on the spot. I've asked this to a handful of the brewers. As a brewer, what's your favorite beer to make, and what's your favorite beer in terms of style to drink?
Ooh. Wow. I kind of like all of them. It's hard to say. It's a seasonal thing. If I'm going out buying beers, I'll typically buy different sours or whatnot. I frequent to Primo's in Akron for their great sour selection. Other than that, there's the challenge of making a sour is quite fun.
It's a tough beer to make.
Ground up from the yeast and everything else.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Marc Bona. I write about beer for Northeast Ohio Media Group. We're at Lagerheads finishing up our 10th of 10 breweries. I can finally shave. This is my playoff beer beard. It's been growing for 2 weeks now. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for voting on our Neos Best Craft Brewery Tour. Cheers.